Timeout with PSOA. Sean Johnston here from Omaha, Nebraska, bringing you NSAA NFHS training tape number 3. This week we are going to focus on scrimmage kick scoring kicks. So we have to remember, when there is a field goal, we are following the punt/scrimmage kick rules. Now, there is rule differences if we're going for a PAT or if we're going for a field goal worth 3 points. And this is the purpose of this training tape. We are going to start with this clip. Now that we have 2 weeks underneath our belt, we should have game film to know who the kickers are. And we started at this clip at this point because at this moment, it was a long run for a touchdown. Referees, you are looking for that kicking tee or the kicker holder's number. Now, once you have that, you want to communicate that on your O2O so now your officials can move. So what's going on here right now, referees looking towards the offensive sideline. Is the coach holding up a number 1 or number 2? Where is the kicker and holder? Are they running on the field? Because all other officials must remain in their positions until we know that there's going to be a kicker and holder. And believe it or not, the kicker holder is getting the tee right here from ball personnel. So here comes number 34. The kicker's on the field, and that is when the referee goes to their O2O to communicate. Kicker is running on the field. If the kicker's running on the field with the tee, you now want to remind the crew, right-footed kicker, left-footed kicker, so that way we get into our starting positions. 2 underneath the field goal post. Umpire's going to be watching the ball, and then we have 1 line of scrimmage official on the line. So pre-snap, we should have a routine. Officials underneath the goalpost, counting 11 defense. Referee, umpire, counting offense. And then the 1 line of scrimmage official, you are making sure there's no more than 4 backs in the backfield. Another thing, let's get deeper into it. We need to get numbers. Who are the eligible numbers here? So as a referee, I'm going to get those numbers and give it to my officials who are going to be officiating the play downfield. As we come to future plays on this training tape, you'll see the importance of knowing the eligible numbers. Another rule we have to remember, only offense can score in high school football on a PAT. All right, so once this kick is kicked, the ball becomes dead, whether successful or unsuccessful. So the referee on a PAT, it is your whistle. Referee is rolling his arms. Rolling the arms means we have snapper protection. So the umpire is going to communicate with the defense. Do not hit the snapper after the snap. And now that the kick's going, what should we be looking at? All right. So the line of scrimmage official, they're looking straight down the line and making sure there's no blocks below the waist. All right. If they do block below the waist, it has to be immediate. Umpire is watching these defensive linemen, making sure that they're not roughing the snapper. And the referee, they're typically going to be watching the wingbacks to make sure there's no hook and turn and offensive holding preventing them to get to the kicker. That is the initial responsibilities we're looking at. Once the ball is placed and it is being held, now the referee is going to transition. All right, what player is going to be a threat to contact the holder and kicker for roughing or running into? Umpire is going to start coming in and get ready for dead ball officiating. And then once the whistle's blown, the line of scrimmage official, you want to run in hard. And we want all officials keeping their eyes on dead ball officiating. Referees, there's a lot of referees that will turn right now and mirror a successful field goal. We can't do that as dead ball officiating is not done. Stay with the players. The two officials underneath the goalpost did a phenomenal job of timing up and going up at the very same time. All right, it looks sharp, it looks crisp, it's teamwork. All right, so good, good, good. 1, 2, up at the same time. So this is just an ordinary point after attempt play with some tricks and tips. Number 1, to know we have a kicker holder. Number 2, to communicate it to your crew so we're in position before the ready for play whistle. And then our initial and main responsibilities on a PAT. Here we have another point after attempt, and the offense is in a swinging gate formation. Many teams now have their linemen offset on one side of the field. And what they're doing is they're trying to figure out where's the best one-on-one matchup. Completely legal play if you have 5 players, number 50 through 79, on the line of scrimmage. All right, so umpires, this is your number 1 primary at this point. We are not lining up over the gate as we're responsible for the football, but we have to confirm how many players have the numbers 50 through 79. In this situation, we have number 60, number 51, 52, 62. Only 4 players, right? You cannot use the numbering exception unless you're in scrimmage kick formation. So as we play this out, the crew is in correct position, as in we're not in scrimmage kick formation, so we do not have 2 underneath the field goal post. That's good. Now we have illegal formation. Okay, we have 4 players, 50 through 79, and we do not have the offense in scrimmage kick formation. We should have a foul down here on this play for illegal formation, not enough men 50 through 79 on the line of scrimmage. We talk about the importance on PATs to get eligible numbers. All right, so if we go back here, we have number 10 is eligible. We have number 4 is eligible. We have this running back eligible. We got the quarterback eligible. This receiver is off the line of scrimmage is eligible. And then the snapper is eligible. So those are the numbers we want to have in our minds. If this number 5 was number 52, they would have 5 guys fit through 50 through 79 on the line of scrimmage. And yes, the snapper can be at the end of the line of scrimmage and be an eligible receiver. As we play this out, though, on a point after attempt, they're going for 2. We need to know linemen, this is a tight threshold, so they cannot go downfield legally. And as we throw it, we have number 15 making early contact blocking downfield as well. All right, so this is a special play on a 2-point try. We have to enforce the rules of scrimmage kick plays even tighter. Be aware of your responsibilities and make sure these special plays are 100% legal. We have a field goal for 3 points here. Remember earlier in this training tape where we're talking about we need to get eligible numbers. We are assuming every kick is a fake kick on a field goal situation. We need to communicate who are those eligible numbers. As we play this out, first reminder, it is a bad snap. Had that holder have to stand up to receive that snap, he is allowed to come back down immediately and it would not be down. This is a bad low snap. All right, so he does have control of the ball momentarily with his knee on the ground, but since it was a bad snap, he immediately raised off the ground, so it is not down by rule. Now, since he came up on his own intentionally, he cannot come back down and place the knee back on the ground, otherwise he would be down by rule. So now we have what I would call a fake field goal, a fire, a jailbreak, and mentally in our head as officials, we now have to tell ourselves this is a scrimmage play. Referee, we need to start much wider here on field goals. We are responsible for this sideline on a fake. We want to be 5 yards behind the holder and at somewhere near the numbers when we're snapping in the middle of the field. All right, we're going to be able to officiate the wingbacks. We're going to be able to officiate the kicker holder while being wide. And a play like this, we are going to have a better chance of getting out wide to the sideline. Now it's a scrimmage play. Snapping at the 8, line of scrimmage, you are getting to the goal line extended. Umpire, since it's not a run, he's looking to pass, you're moving up towards the line of scrimmage, so you're able to officiate illegal forward passes and help with ineligible linemen downfield. Back judge remain on the end line since we're snapping at the 8. Line judge, you want to work towards the goal line as quickly as you can. If we could have 2 officials on the goal line on a broken field goal play, that is ideal, and your referee's going to help you on the open side. As we play this out, we are now going to be looking for linemen downfield. That is going to be the most common foul, is illegal linemen downfield, because everybody is in a rush and in a little panic. As this play develops, we have number 70. We snapped at the 8, and at the time of the throw, he's at the 3-yard line, well beyond that line where he's able to be legally. So now we have an ineligible lineman downfield and a catch. So the result of the play is a touchdown. However, umpire correctly calls ineligible lineman downfield. So good job getting the ineligible lineman downfield. So we're going to go 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, and it will remain 4th down. And the clock is going to start on the snap because of the result of this play was a scoring play. Reset the play clock to 25 seconds. Then this next play, there is a ton going on here. Number 1, kudos to the referee doing his scouting and seeing that it's a lefty kicker. We don't typically see a lot of lefty kickers. All right, so we are prepared for this. Referee's on the open side of the field, and the H in this play is underneath the upright. We're snapping from the 15-yard line, and we are over 5 yards to achieve a first down. We're going to play this in slow motion and talk through a lot of talking points. So as this snap goes, knee comes off the ground because it's a high snap. It is legal to bring that knee back down to the ground immediately, and this is not going to be considered down by rule. So good job of keeping this play alive. We have the kick, and now we have the block of a kick. So now, since this ball is blocked, as we said in the beginning of this training tape, a field goal and a punt is the same rules now. So we want to treat this now like we would a punt. And as that ball goes high into the air, we're ignoring that touch by the receivers because it was in or behind the extended neutral zone. So right now, nobody has touched this kick. It is still a kick, and the force of the kick is the responsibility of the kicking team. As this ball hits the ground now, we now have recovery right here. All right, this is the recovery spot of the kick by the kicking team. You're going to see the line of scrimmage official at the bottom of the screen come in and throw his beanbag. And the beanbag is dropped on the 14-yard line. All right. So what that is telling us is the judgment of the official looking straight down the line. The ball was snapped at the 15. It was recovered by the kicking team at the 14-yard line, which is 1 yard in advance of where it was snapped. Since the kicking team possessed the ball in the judgment of this official, it was a kick beyond the neutral zone, and the kicking team cannot advance a kick beyond the neutral zone. So that is why he is going to be coming in to blow his whistle, and it's a dead ball. Punt, recovered by the kicking team at the 14-yard line. All right, so that was the ruling on the field. Now we're going to play the what-if game. What if the judgment on the field was the ball was snapped at the 15, the ball is blocked, ignore the touching, and the ball is now recovered at the 15-yard line by the kicking team. By rule, any kick recovered in or behind the neutral zone by any player can legally be advanced. All right, so if the judgment was the ball was recovered at the 15, yes, this kicking team player can recover it, can advance all the way into the end zone and take it for a touchdown or a first down at the 8-yard line. We're going to take it another what if. What if the ruling on the field was recovered at the 15 and now we have an inadvertent whistle? So a misapplication, or we just weren't thinking clearly in the moment. We have a loose ball foul or loose ball situation when the whistle was blown, or we now have recovery of a ball when the whistle was blown, and by rule it should not have been blown. So now we go to the inadvertent whistle rule, which now says the team that was last in possession, or the team that was in possession at the time of the whistle, the ball becomes dead, they have the option to take the result of the play or replay the down. So in this inadvertent whistle situation, what if? We would get together as a crew. Yes, recovered at the 15. We should not have had a whistle. The team in control is white. They have the choice. Result of the play, which they're not going to want a turnover on downs. They will choose to replay the down, fourth down at that previous spot. As we conclude this play on the training tape, we are going to go with the line judge's judgment of a legal kick blocked, touches the ground, and is recovered at the 14-yard line. So now it is dead by rule according to the judgment of the line judge. Now the next spot where we will snap the ball will be at position 3, 14-yard line, first down and 10. Set the play clock to 25 seconds and the game clock will start on the snap. So any unsuccessful field goal that does not go into the end zone just turns into a punt play. If this was a punt play recovered by the kicking team at the 14, ball's dead at the spot of recovery, first down and 10, 14-yard line, position 3. Our next play is going to be another fake field goal, and this angle, this view is phenomenal from a drone up above. So referees, once again, good job being 5 yards behind the holder, but you want to get wider. All right, get wider as you are responsible for out of bounds in this sideline. We want to get eligible numbers communicated to the crew every single time. So we need to get this player's number, that player's number, this player's number, and this wingback number. So we know what 4 players, 2 at the end and 2 of the wingbacks, what their eligible numbers are. As we play this out, we're going to have a snap. We're going to have a fake. Now we are fire, fire, fire. All right, line of scrimmage official, turning into a scrimmage play. Goal line extended. Umpire, you're coming up to the line of scrimmage, and this back judge reacted really well here. He has left the upright, and he is going to be working towards the goal line now. So we have 2 officials at the goal line officiating the play. All right, so good reaction by the line judge there. We have a forward pass touched behind the basic spot. So if there are linemen downfield, since it was touched behind the line of scrimmage, they can legally be downfield. So another example of a fake field goal and reacting as a crew and trying to place ourselves into those scrimmage play keys, responsibilities. What better way to end this training tape on field goals and scoring kicks than a game-winning field goal? All right, so the offense, if they make this field goal, they win the game. We are now snapping outside the 20-yard line. Since we're snapping outside the 20-yard line, if this turns into a fake and it turns into a scrimmage play, back judges, you are going to be moving straight forward and getting to goal line responsibility, while the line judge, again, would be working to the outside if it were a fake. Referees, once again, if there's anything you take from this training tape, be wider on the open side, as you are responsible for out of bounds on that open sideline. And the wider you are as a referee, the more clear you're going to be able to see not only this wingback, but the wingback opposite for offensive holding hook and turn on the edge defenders trying to come in and block the field goal. So as this field goal attempt is lined up, officials are communicating, protect the snapper. We're counting 11 both ways. Now we have the whistle. Since this is a field goal, again, we turn into a punt play. So the ball is not dead until it enters and crosses the goal line. It is the back judge's whistle on this play as a field goal. Referees whistle PAT, back judge's whistle on a field goal. They're going to confirm field goal is good. And now that concludes our training tape. Let's get it to the locker room and let's get ready for our games this Friday. Thank you for taking time out with PSOA. Officials, remember, you're only as good as your last call.